All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to TCCA 2020. This is our first real session of the day after the keynote. I have with us today Miss Yvonne LopezTaylor. She is going to be doing an awesome presentation for us this morning, titled "The Writing's Not on the Wall." And let me add her back. She just jumped off the screen. So good morning, Miss LopezTaylor.
Good morning.
Welcome. We're excited for your session. So you can go ahead and share your screen again. I'm going to jump off the camera. If you have any questions during the presentation or comments, you can type it in your chat window on YouTube. And I have myself and Dr. Michael and Kelly say good morning.
Morning.
We're going to be monitoring the chat window during the presentation. So we'll interrupt Ms. LopezTaylor at any time to answer your questions, share comments, and so forth. So without any further ado, Yvonne, go ahead and take it away.
Good morning, everyone. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. We're going to do writings not on the wall, because I know a lot of us are still teaching in person and online and trying to figure out how do we combine the two together. So this is a picture of my art studio. And there you go. So we're going to be working in Canva and in Google Slides. Are any of you guys familiar with Canva? And I know that a lot of you use Google Slides for presentations, but has anybody used it for making products for your classroom? And let's see. Oh yeah, and of course I know that a lot of us built like the Bitmoji classrooms. I did a little hybrid of mine. Mine was pictures on my classroom and then my little Bitmoji. And so with Google Slides and in Canva, you can design virtually anything that you need in your classroom. You can see up here the samples of websites and flyers and notes that I send to my students and to parents, and a lot of Instagram posts and Class Dojo posts, more than giving them a visual and not just here's a word blurb of these are all the dates, just giving them a visual presentation. And so we're going to jump into anchor charts, and my art studio is filled with anchor charts, and I know that a lot of us do use anchor charts, especially because they're used to support instruction, and it gives students that sense of they're part of the classroom and that they helped create it, or that they know that it's a resource for them to look at when you might be busy with another student, or you're in the middle of another lesson, or in my case, my hands could be full of ink, and they know that they can look for the resources. But how do we show these resources to our online students? And so what I ended up doing was taking pictures of my anchor charts and posting them into my Schoology presentations and into my Google Slides, but I just didn't really like the quality of it, and the photographs don't transfer as well. So as you can see, like here, they could be no matter how great you take a photograph, it could still be a little blurry, and it might not give you the same message as it would in the classroom. And if you can make them digitally, then they can have a whole folder of resources that they can have access to. And then that's not only going to help your students in the classroom, it'll help the ones online. And then even the students in the classroom, when they go home and they might want to practice something, they can always reference that folder. And so this is when I started turning the paper into digital, and then I print them out and put them in poster sizes around the room as well, especially ones that I'm going to use all the time and more frequently than others. And so I'm going to show you, this is kind of I'm going to show you, and then at the very end, we're going to have studio time where you are going to create your own. But I'm going to walk you through our Google Slides and Canva. And let me see if in the chat, I kind of want to take a little survey, like a little temperature check. Would you like more in-depth in Google Slides, or just like a quick refresher in Google Slides, or more into Canva? Because I'm excited to show both. But while I'm gonna go back and forth and check the chat, I'm gonna start with Google Slides. Everyone, if you're using Chrome, you would click on your waffle. You can go into, I see a lot of Canva, go into your slide, Google Slides, start a new presentation, and you're gonna go straight to File, Page Setup, and go ahead and I change my size, especially if I'm gonna print this out, 8.5 to 11, and then I can create in here. So let's see, more Canva. Anybody really want Google Slides? Because then I can just go over to Canva. Because I know I see a lot of Canva. But all right, I guess we'll go back to Google Slides after we start creating. If you do how to sign up for an educator's account, because the educator's account is, well, amazing, and there's no watermarks, and this will be a whole nother session of how you can use Canva with your students and how you can have your students create it. And I'll start with Canva and then we'll go into Google Slides. But so in Canva, when you have that teacher account, you can, like I said, it opens up a lot more images and fonts and everything, and a lot more templates without the watermarks. And I know that the screen is blurry. Is anyone else having that issue? All right, we're back on. Okay, let's see. Can't read it. Let's see. Is everybody seeing it blurry? I don't know if did that change anything?
I think you're good, Yvonne. Yeah, go ahead and keep going. It's just going to depend on the bandwidth on their device. So it looks good on this end.
All right, okay, good. All right, so when you go into Canva, you have all different designs that you can choose from, and it prompts you right at the top with social media, marketing, documents, but this is a new one, and this is school. So you have posters, infographics, they even have worksheets that you can do. I'm not really big on worksheets, but I do like looking at resources here. You can type in, well, in my case, art, and there are some great resources here for artist statements, and even mixing medias that you can print out, or you can have your students, you can put this into a Google slide and then make it interactive in there. And you can go in, change the colors, change the type, and see there's lots and lots of types. You can search by a style of type. You can do, let's say I want handwriting, no Comic Sans, please. And very interactive. And you can also start from scratch, which is usually what I do. So you can we'll go back to home. And I usually like to make everything into a square shape so that I can post it to Twitter and Instagram and Class Dojo, and it's not going to cut off anything. And it's square. I like squares. So actually, I'll show you a couple of, and then you can also sort everything by folders. So I have my art contest, Spirit Week, celebrations, things I do with teachers. And then you have your classroom. But like I said, that's a whole nother session where you can have students sign on and create through Canva. And so let's just make let's say we're doing a story. Oh, this is a story, so it's a rectangle. But I can look at templates and I'm like, okay, so let's say I want to do a story where I'm posting a story where I'm going to celebrate my artist. So I want something with type and an image. So let's say, okay, this one. And I can switch out the pictures. I can go to uploads and I'm going to choose let's say my student work right here. So I can put her artwork here and reshape it. I can change the color of the background. I can delete images. When I go to elements, there's recently used, the ones that they have featured, different kinds of things. So let's say I want a, let's do an award or a ribbon. And I can say, oh, this is my artist of the week. Maybe I don't want blue. And some of the icons will let you change the colors. So like this one, I can make it my school colors. And I can say, all right, congrats to our artist of the week. Or I know A.W. Jones pre-K does Jag of the week, which by the way was my nephew this week. Let's see, different types of fonts, something more interesting. Change the size, change, oh, meant to make it bigger. Change the colors. Okay, I made Jones colors. It's still instilled in me. Let me do Carter colors. All right, and then you can also add text that it's already, well, I mean, we're adding text, but fancy text that's already pre-made for you. And of course, it doesn't have to say wild sale. It could say, congrats, artist. Some of these come grouped, so you can ungroup them. It's just a lot of fun to play around with. Sorry, I changed my cruiser to the little witch and bat, but they kind of, there, I'm turning it off. Because they're so much fun, but they kind of mess up with my points, my anchor points. So congrats, artist. Up to 50% off, not today. Oh, and I can put the artist name here. Name here. I can save them. You can download them as, I suggest a PNG when you have type so that everything is crisp and clear. Because if you do you can do a PDF if you're going to print it. But if you do a PDF, then you really can't upload it to Twitter and Instagram and or even in, well, yeah, you could put it in your Schoology too as a PDF. You can also make it interactive and add music to it because this is a story. So you can add, there's different kinds of free music in here. And you see this little EDU with the graduation cap. Those are the extra features when you have your educator account. You can also add videos. You can upload your own video as well under upload, like you would upload your own images. And you have your folder set up with previous images or previous work that you've done before. And so that's our little quick intro into Canva. But like I said, remember to save in PNG so that your type can be nice and crisp. And then you can take your, whatever you worked on here, saved as a PNG, and you can transfer it over to your, well, here, I'll save it so you can see. I would download PNG. Yes, perfect, perfect. Oh, transparent background if you're working still in a Bitmoji type of classroom where, you know, we don't want those backgrounds. A lot of people built their classrooms in Canva and then transferred it over to Google Slides. But I don't need a transparent background since it is purple. So it saves my design. Now I can go straight to Twitter and upload it. I can go to my class dojo, upload it, but like I said, I want it to be a square. So I can now go to insert image, upload from computer, go to my downloads, open up my artist of the week, and there would be my post. Now, of course, here I can't edit it at all, but I can draw over it. Let's say now I want to do, I know, add some little elements. And let's see. Way to sparkle. Oh yeah, sparkle artist. Change my colors. Change the width of the outlines. I know I'm doing a cross. Let's do turn it into a star, or don't like it. So we can draw here as well and create anchor charts in here. So let's say that now I'm going to make an anchor chart in Google Slides. I'm going to choose, what I did was I took one of the anchor charts that I have already made. So I want to remake this one. So all I did was drag my image into Google Slides, but you can go into File, Insert Image, Upload from Computer or your Drive or wherever you have it. So I like to, if you have a dual screen, put it on one side and the other, but I just have one screen, so I'm just going to make it small. Also, when you are going to resize, please make sure that you hold the Shift key when you click on your anchor points. When you don't hold the Shift key, it can get distorted. And so I like to put my work on the side as a guide. And let's see. So the Google slide, we changed the size to 8.5 by 11, just because if I'm going to print it out, I want it to be, I can print it out from my printer. You can also make it a poster size and then send it off to a printer and save it as a PDF. I like to use overnight prints. I've been using them for probably over 10 years. And so now let's say that this is going to be this is my blank canvas now. And I'm going to I want to recreate my chart. So I'm going to make my little rectangles. I can change the colors. And now, I don't have to stick to my exact ones, but I do like this one. And so you can copy paste to make everything the same. And this is especially for all you folks that say, I'm not an artist, I'm not creative, but everyone is creative. You're creative when you're building lessons, when you're filling out that seating chart, when you're differentiating. So it's a different type of creative. And this way here, you have your perfect shapes. And 1 point. There you go. I know you don't necessarily want to watch me make my prints over and over. Overnight Prints is a website where I upload my artwork to print out posters. And I just use them for years for my printing needs. Like this, that's where I printed out my, these posters here. And so now we're going to go back and forth, and I want to give you guys an opportunity to play in Canva. So I'm going to put this in the chat, this document here. This has teacher quotes. I'm going to call it our studio time. We're going to create our own little quote. You can use one of the quotes here, or if you have another educational quote, when you do click on the file, it's going to copy your own version. You can click on Canva here to apply for the Canva Educator version. And then here's Google Slides. My information is here. And so I'm gonna, let's see. Could you guys share, Matt or Michael Land, share the file link? I was trying to answer in the chat. Thank you. And I'm just gonna go, while you guys are opening the file and working, I'm gonna show you how I built my presentation in Canva. You can click presentation. See, there's all these other versions here that are simple, already made. They have tons of different templates in there. So let's say that I wanted to switch over to this one here. And you see it gives you all the different kinds of pages that you can choose. So it's, you know, like they say, don't reinvent the wheel. It's kind of a nice starting guide for you. And especially now that we have so much going on and we want to make everything presentable and visually appealing and easy for our students to understand, and well, our parents as well, this at least cuts a couple steps down for you. And so see, I built all of my images here, and then I saved them as a PNG and then put them into Google Slides to add more information or to add links and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, so you're not going to be able to access a teacher account right away. You have to apply for it, but you can sign up for the basic account where there's a lot of stuff on there that doesn't have watermarks, but you know, like the fancier fonts and the more interactive kind of features are with the teacher account or a paid account. But yes, it does take a few days. And so you want to write how you're going to use it for your students, how you're going to use it to communicate with your parents, how you're going to use it in your classroom. They want to make sure that you're not just using Canva for personal use, that it's going to benefit your students and that you're going to work with your students with Canva. And let's see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a quote so you can kind of see me work in Canva and how it interacts. And I'm going to choose a quote by Andy Warhol. So you can open up your own file, open it, you know, your own copy of my handout, copy the quote, go into Canva. I'm going to create a social media Instagram post. And like I said, you can choose one that's already made to kind of build off of. So let's see. And you can spend hours on here though too, but it's also kind of therapeutic for me. And I know that this is another way that we can all be creative. So you can use this template. You can change the colors whenever you'd like. Oh yeah, also like I forget to do this, so you can change your title here. Because I'll save my files and then I can't find them because I didn't name them. And this one already has the quote, so now I'm going to try to copy my quote. And I'll put Andy Warhol here. I do build a lot from scratch too, but like I said, it's just refreshing that you don't have to think about all these additional things, that it's already here for you. It's perfect. I've used it to put reminders for parents. Hey, remember that this assignment is due in a week. Or here, I've done a checklist for my students. Remember to turn in your warm-up and you need your artist statement and post your artwork here. And so they can, you can make it interactive in Google Slides and they can do the check it off digitally. What else have I done on there? Oh, all our spirit weeks. I'll do okay today, well, especially like Red Ribbon Week, you can do okay, today is hat day. So then make a little post of everybody with their hats. And the next day is wear a team shirt and different things like that. And I think too that this is a great tool for our students. And especially, you know, our students kind of, they catch on and grasp onto technology way more faster than we do. And this is a tool that will give them independence and that creativity, and they can problem solve. You can do all sorts of lessons in Canva. You can have them make graphs for math. You can have them do an ad. Let's say you have a history class, and now I want you to make a political ad on you're running for office. What would your poster look like? What would your logo look like? You can talk about art careers, what different artists and designers use. Let's see. And then we can go into our elements. So let's say, don't think about art. Maybe I want a light bulb. And so see, I have, if with your free account, see, it says free. These are the free ones. And like I said, if I had the free account, I wouldn't be able to use this. It would have a watermark. So when I print it out, it would say Canva all over it. But with the educators, you are free to use everything they have on here, which is, I think, pretty amazing. So let's do this light bulb. See, some you can change the colors, some you cannot. Like this one, you can't, but like this one here, you have a little more freedom. And then I would love for you guys to post your inspirational quotes on Twitter and tag me and tag TCCA. And like I said, you don't have to use one of the quotes that I provided. You can do your favorite lyric, your favorite song. So the students would sign up for, after you get your account, you get all that information. And it's, you send out links and invitations from your account. So you're kind of you're the host of the account. And then you have the links and give them access for it. Let's see. Oh, this is where, yeah, basically I make everything in here. I like to use different kinds of backgrounds too that they'll just fill up your whole page with. Oh, I've done for a lot of my videos for my students inline and online and in the classroom, I did my little intro logo for it on Canva, then transferred it into WeVideo. Yes, and exactly. This is another reason that I love Canva, is that these images here are to be used for the classroom and they are allowed in the classroom, so that you're not hitting any of those copyright issues. Because too, when I do use images from elsewhere, I always at the very bottom put my image source, just because you always want to give credit, and two, you want to teach that to your students as well, that if they're going to use an image that's not theirs, they need to make sure that they have the right credit. Which actually too, although we're making our anchor charts digitally, I can then, like I said, upload my photos. Yep, just kidding, uploads. And I could upload, let me go back to my student work. Oh, see, here's my little Bitmoji that you can add yourself into. So if I can put students' artwork as, I can make it my background too. But I love Canva. I had a friend introduce Canva to me at a TAEA conference, I want to say like 5 years ago or so. It used to only be for designers, but now I love that a lot of these sites are catering to us educators, and anything to benefit our students and to get them more creative and interactive with us and with each other. And well, let's go back. I want to go into Google Slides. I'm going to start a new presentation to show you how to build one from scratch. So you would go to, this is a new one, so new presentation. And right away, I like to go and change the size. So I go to page setup, not language, page setup, custom, 8.5 by 11. Well, actually, last year I did, I had anchor charts per table. For each table had their own anchor charts, and the table would share. But now we teach no sharing allowed. So now with this, your students, you can have a whole folder, excuse me, where the students can just grab any anchor chart that they need. But when you're in the classroom, make sure that you do still have the anchor charts on the wall, because my poor little artists, I love that they actually use the anchor charts and they're so accustomed to it. I had them, we were talking about lines the other day, and I said, okay, so tell me a kind of line that you're going to use in your artwork. And so I see all of them go, and they go straight and look for where the anchor chart used to be. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, guys, I haven't posted it. It's in Schoology right now. So we'll scroll over to it in a second. And it's very powerful to know that our students are using these visual tools and these cues. And so it's just important to give them as much resources as you can for them to problem solve themselves. So I'm not necessarily giving them the answer. The answer is there, but they have to look for it. But at least now they can look for it in their Schoology resource folder. Maybe you can print out many little cards of the anchor charts that you can give to your students. You can make ones with math formulas, with history dates, with basically anything. I would do one with my little color families, because I know my students always are struggling with primary and secondary colors, or they forget. And here's a little booklet of anchor charts that you can use. And let's see. I want to know if anyone's posting any of theirs. I'm excited to see what pops up on Twitter later. Okay, so back to Google Slides. Oh yes, let's see. So we can insert images from the web, from your drive. You can search the web directly here. I used to go and open up Google by itself, search for an image, and then insert it here. But now you can go here, right directly. So I can type in paintbrush clip. Ugh. Now you know how I'm a bad speller. So there goes my paintbrush, and I can put it here. But let's say that, okay, I don't want this white background, so I can say paintbrush clip art transparent. And there is my paintbrush here. Now the disadvantage of Google Slides is that I can't change the color. But in Canva, if I have a paintbrush, then I could find one where I could change the color and I could edit. So I'll show you we'll go back and forth and work. So if I go into paintbrush here under elements, and I don't have to type in clip art because everything here is already clip art based. But if I did want a photo, I would search under photos. And so this paintbrush here, I can edit this one. So see, I want it to be my favorite color, mustard yellow. And so those are kind of like the pros and cons of both, but I do love that Canva you can use anywhere. They do have the app for it. Google Slides you can use on your phone too, but this is just more personalized and more easy to edit. And now I can, I don't know if you know how to find more or different types of fonts than just the ones that are here. So if I'm like, hello, I can go click on more fonts. So you're not just limited to what the computer just generates automatically, and you can search. Just like you could in Canva, you can search for scripts or fonts. You can I like to do the, which ones are trending, just because I want to see what people like. See, again, no Comic Sans or Papyrus. I like fonts with the fun names. So you're going to check the ones that you want, click OK, and then now they're going to be housed in your library here. And I know that one was Sriracha or something. See, I have so many of those, so I kind of lose them, but I have a background in graphic design advertising, so I just love all types of type. And you can change your colors, of course, but again, I kind of use them both interchangeably. I'll create in Canva, transfer it to Google, but another thing that I like about Canva is that I can change how far apart the letters are. It's the leading and the kerning. So just a little nerd art teacher. When the newspapers used to be printed and it was individual little metal letters, you would literally stick pieces of lead in between each line, and so that's where you would change the leading. This is the line height, so you can make it so the further apart the letters are, it was the more pieces of lead that were in there. But I'm very critical with my type and very precise. So this is why I love Canva, that I can switch. So let's see, you can change the size of the fonts or of your type here. Sorry. Okay. You change it here. You can also just put a number in, not 501, for the size of the type you want. And let's go to, and you can also, this stretches your text box. It won't stretch the text. It's just gonna, or the actual letters, it's gonna stretch out the size. And then what I do like about Canva is that it's keeps everything neater. So if I'm going to, like, if I want to make my quote bigger, it's also going to adjust the size of where, it says Andy Warhol. But I can always ungroup it as well. And the only reason this is grouped is because it was part of a template. But you can always build from scratch. Let's see. Is there any more questions? Anything else you kind of want to see in Canva? Oh, and now they have, I haven't used it, but I got an email about it this week where you can, you know how in Google and all the Google documents and everything, you can have multiple people working on a file. I'm so excited about this. You can have other people also working on the file. So that's where you could do then a collaborative piece with your students. Since we can't share supplies and things like that, they can still work collaboratively online. If you want to change you're asking about the size of the template or the size of the image. So if you want to change the size of the file, you can go to resize. You can change it to the different measurements, and you can do the different type of like, I was trying to read the chat too. You can go to templates too, and it'll change the template, and you can either replace the current page or add a new one. And then if it's not a square, it would ask you the same question. Do you want to make a copy or do you want to keep the same one? And then it'll switch over your type to that style. Oh, and then too, I forgot there's also, you can change the languages. I still always have someone proofread either in English or in Spanish as well to make sure that everything is correct. Another thing I like to use Canva for is building websites, making logos. like I said, notes for parents. You could do t-shirt designs on here as well. And kind of just kind of build a brand for your class or for your team. I've did cute little graphics for all our performing arts team on here. And
Yvonne.
yes.
Hi, it's Michael Ann.
Hi.
Some questions that are coming up was how to make your Bitmoji transparent.
Okay.
And so to remove the background so it's just you. And then also about taking screenshots and how to upload those.
Okay. So to remove background, I like to go to remove BG. Well, actually, I always forget. So I always go to, I just Google remove background, but it's, remove BG. And you can upload your Bitmoji here. So click upload. I actually have a folder of my Bitmojis already. So let's say, sorry, I just got really into finding the right Bitmoji. Oh, thanks. So in remove background, it removed everything, but I always want to make sure that it removed what I needed, because sometimes it might remove too much. But okay, this one's good. And let's say that it removed something you didn't want to remove, or you want to erase something. You can, I just wanted to say thanks. So I can erase the thanks, make your brush size bigger for a bigger area. And let's say, oh wait, never mind, I want it back. You can restore. So like this happens a lot with logos that have white in them. Like I know my Carter Cougar one always removes certain parts of it because it has white outlines in some of the letters. And so this way I can go back, and then you can go back and click transparent again so that you don't have any of these, this is not what we wanted. So I can go to color and click back to transparent. I'm going to download it. And so there it's saved as CEF blah, blah, blah. And I can go into Canva, or I can go into Canva, or I can go into Google and upload from there. So if I did upload new image, go to my device, my Bitmoji, these are the ones that have a background. So I'm going to go to my downloads and find my Bitmoji. And there she is. And you see sometimes this cropped it because it tried to put it right in there. But all you have to do is move the little guides and you're going to have your image, your entire image again. And overnight prints, I just looked at the chat. Overnight prints is pricey if you're going to literally overnight print it, but usually for things I'll do it in advance and the shipping isn't too bad. And there's always coupon codes that you can search for them. So restore, edit the emoji, it's right here. It's going to be right in remove BG. You click on, its background here, click on erase, restore, erase, and restore. It does the opposite and brings it back. So you could do the same thing with pictures of you. If you want to have actual you and not Bitmoji you can edit super precise. You can zoom in and super precisely edit whatever you don't want in your photograph. But I hope that you guys have enjoyed this session so far and that you're learning. Oh yeah, Vistaprint is good too. Oh yeah, so Canva does have a remove background, but it's not accessible with the teacher account. That one's only with the paid account. Because I know that when that came out, I was so excited and I couldn't find it anywhere. And I was looking all over the toolbox and finally I just searched it and they're like, not available for a teacher account. You have to do it for the paid one. And so that's why we use the remove BG. Do we have any other questions?
Hey, Mom, you got a couple questions about rewatching. And if you got your email from TCCA, I know all the sessions are up till Monday. So if you want to go back and rewatch on how to do this through Canva, you can rewatch it up through Monday to have the to go through the process again. So if you're interested, you can do that and rewatch and re-access this presentation. It's available through Monday. I saw that question.
Okay. Yes, so you have until Monday then. But if you have, a quick question or anything, feel free to reach out to me on Twitter, because I usually answer that a lot more quicker than emails because I get the little ping right away. And if you know me, I'm very active on Twitter. I love showing what's going on in our art studio, what my tiny artists are creating, and what's happening in the world of art in Aldine. Well, elementary art in Aldine.
All right. Well, thank you, Yvonne. That was a great session. Great information about Canva. I use Canva almost every day. I do pay for Adobe Illustrator in that, but sometimes it's just easier to go to Canva and create. I've created logos and all kinds of graphics, posters, like you mentioned in there. So a great resource. And then if you're not there yet with Canva, a reminder, we have Google Slides. It's free to everybody. And Google Slides can be used for a lot of different things other than presentations, which you pointed out. So a lot of great information. Thank you for joining us today. The super secret word is at the bottom of your screen. As a reminder, it's case sensitive. So make sure that L is capitalized whenever you type it in. You'll receive an email after this session that you can type that in, download your certificate, put your name on it, and then have that for your documentation. So again, thank you for joining us. I'll leave this stream open for a few minutes. I'm going to put the banner up for the schedule if you need that again to find your next session, tccaconference.com or sked.com. And you can search for TCCA. So hope you enjoyed this session. Thanks again, Yvonne and Dr. Kelly. And hopefully we'll see you throughout the day in the other sessions, especially in our art strand.
Yes, thank you for coming. Thank you for joining our session. And happy art making.